Okay, so I've been working on selling my house myself, DIY, basically save the 3% you spend on a selling listing agent, and potentially if the buyer doesn't have one, save 3% on the buyer's agent as well, which on $1 million property would be a $60,000 savings. And it's actually pretty easy, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the first step here. So the most important thing about listing your house is that you show up on Zillow and Redfin and sites like that where all the customers are. And the only way to do that is through the multiple listing service, the MLS, which is what real estate agents use. However, there is something called a flat fee MLS listing, which, as you can see here, is something where instead of paying a one-time, or you do pay a one-time fee instead of paying a percentage of the sales price to a real estate agent. There's a lot of options out there ranging from about $95 at the lowest, which is the one I selected, up to several $1,000s for more full service flat fee listings. Now keep in mind with these flat fee listing services, you will not have an agent showing your house or really doing anything. All the people that do flat fee MLS listings do is take your information and post it online. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the research I did and which sites I compared. Homecoin is the one I actually ended up listing with. You can see here they have a $95 option. It sounded from some of the reviews and things I was reading online that they're fairly popular. They have an actual platform that you log into and enter all your information into, which I'll show you that in a little bit and tell you the pros and cons I found when I used it. The second option is one I used when I sold my house in Long Beach, FSBO.com. They actually have a nice little platform where you enter things in as well, but they cost a little bit more. I'll show you the pricing here. I guess they have a $90 or $100 package or a $400 package. However, there's a little bit more of a limited thing. So one thing is that they don't tell you here, if you notice, one very, very crucial thing is they don't mention Zillow comes with their FSBO package. This is only to have your listing on FSBO.com, which nobody looks at. Everybody looks at Zillow. You have to be on Zillow. So you have to do their $400 package if you go with them. And that other site, Homecoin, actually does all that for just $100. And something else I found when I did FSBO.com, and this was about 2 or 3 years ago, is Congress Realty actually did all the actual work and actually posting the listing in California. And Congress Realty has their own direct way to sell your house and list your home. So they have their save your money on this. I went through them. They were decent when I worked with them. The person I worked with obviously doesn't have a lot of time for me, but he did basically help get the transaction done. There's a few emails that go back and forth that he has to sign off on with the MLS. But you can see here, so they have a $300 package just to get on the MLS. And then you have phone forwarding, which you definitely would want that. You don't want, I don't know how else you'd do it. So $400 for that, and then a full marketing package for $500, and full service for 0.5%, where it sounds like you'd get a broker help you with the negotiating process with your buyer, so they probably, I'm assuming, would not show your house. But I wanted to try something new this time, so I went with Homecoin. I also evaluated a couple other options. There's one here that I would not recommend, which is Houzeo. They do tons of heavy advertising online and try and make themselves look like they're you can see they did this little ranking thing of $199 for Houzeo, 100% off online, offer management, showing management. Oh, that's great, right? But something you don't see them emphasize is they actually take a percentage just like the real estate agents do. It's a smaller percentage, but it's not a pure flat fee MLS from what I saw. When I was looking through it, it looked like they have like a 0.5%. So you see a little star here, a little gray star. Let me see if I can find the small print. Oh, right here. Here we go. So if you pay $200, you have to pay 0.5% at close. I mean, I don't know why I'm paying them 0.5%. It's crazy. Or 250 plus 1% at close, or 299 plus 1.25% at close. And their platform looks the prettiest. It looks like they do the most things. It looks like they throw in a yard sign and other stuff. But they're still going to be taking 0.5%, which 0.5% on $1 million transaction is $5,000. So I said, no, thank you. I will do this myself. And it had worked pretty well for FSBO before. So I was looking at that sort of option where I didn't have any percentage to pay. I also evaluated a couple of other options like this list for flat fee. And I actually emailed the Stacy lady who got back to me fairly quickly, which I liked. But it didn't sound like she had any sort of like platform for entering in the information. It sounded like I was just going to have to enter everything into like a PDF or something and give it to her, and she'd copy and paste it over or something. Wasn't as attracted to that option. So let's get into Homecoin a little bit further here, which is the one I did select. So I paid the $95 list your property. Actually, I went for the $300 option initially, and I'll tell you what happened there. So I hopped on there and created this listing. This is what their dashboard looks like. You can see they have a number of little upsell sorts of things. You can get a seller agent, a fully licensed agent to help you. I think that's like $8,000. Don't need that. Professional photography, some sort of listing service. I didn't use that. And they have signs and posts from 69. I have not used that yet. I may end up putting a sign post up. I need to do that. And then a lockbox rental, which I don't need that because the house has a keypad on the door itself. And this is my house, obviously, that's being sold, and this is the information on the listing. Now here's kind of what their whole process looks like. Each one of these little check marks is a clickable deal, where you can click on it and it takes you in, and you have an online portal where you can enter stuff. It's a little bit janky. It took me much longer than I would have hoped to enter all that information, but it does work, and it is an online portal, which is better than nothing. And they have lots of little rules and things. You have to put up your disclosures. And it seemed like after I entered all the information into the portal, they have people on the back end who review your listing to make sure it complies and they don't get fined. They have some 10-point checklist that they ran through to get my listing active. So that was kind of interesting, but it took longer than I expected. I'd spent late into one night, past midnight, entering everything in because I'd really hoped to get it live the next day because I thought it was an online platform, and when I clicked pay, it would publish it live right away. But that's not the way it works. You have to wait for them to review it, and apparently they take usually more than a day to review things. It actually took them a day and a half. They do have pretty good email and phone support. I had to call and email quite a bit. They automatically send way too many emails and incorrect information sometimes in emails and things like that. So it's a little bit janky, just the process. I don't know how they can make money charging a $100 fee and not having a smoother process. It seems like it takes quite a bit of involvement on their side to get your listing live. And I had to go back and forth with them on a number of items. But overall, the listing is live now. It is on Zillow, and it does work. I'll show you what that. So here's my listing on Zillow. I was able to upload you're able to upload about 40 photos, which is what the MLS allows for. It has a bunch of allows for photos. Allows for a Matterport tour, which I was able to link to. I did have a video tour, and they haven't posted that. I'm not sure why. I have an email into Homecoin support. But you can see it gets my listing on the Zillow, has my description of everything, has all the information, which I'm going to run through with you guys in a second, about what needs to be done there and how and why. But it does look pretty good, and it gets you that. One thing I would suggest is that you use your local county GIS service to actually gather some of the information, because that's what the MLS will check you against, and what the flat fee listing service will try and make sure you did right. So I'm going to show you guys the property here. Okay, so it's actually in my case, it's two properties. I have this parcel right here, which is an 86-acre parcel. I'll switch over to the map version on my county GIS so that you can see it a little more clearly. This is all publicly available information. Anybody can access it. And here you have information, assessor treasurer portal, auditor record documents, things like that. So you can see like the square footage of the house, which was accurate, but actually the number of bedrooms and things was not. No, this property doesn't have buildings on it. And then, so that's my bigger property, the 86-acre parcel. And then here's the adjacent property with a house. And you can see actually it's not quite perfectly adjacent. I had to make that clear in the listing because there's like a 1-foot border here, but I do have a road and gate easement that I'm able to put a road and gate right there, which I did. So yeah, so you can get information here from your local county GIS, and this is what your real estate agent would do to help fill in information on Homecoin or whatever flat fee MLS service you used. You can see right here, it's got 3167 square feet. The house actually has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, but for some reason it just says 3 here, and that's not correct. So Homecoin had a whole bunch of fields where I could enter in photos, upload documents, enter information about how to contact me. Just put your information in there. You can see I paid here for a Matterport tour, which I would highly recommend that you guys do. This is kind of a house tour. A lot of buyers really like to see this sort of thing. If you're selling a house for probably anywhere north of 200 or 300K, this will pay for itself in terms of bringing you in additional buyers, allowing people to kind of do these virtual tours through the house. Really a nice feature. Also, you want to get your photos in, get your photos ordered so people can see what your house looks like or whatever your key features are. Since I'm selling 106 acres, I'm actually doing only a few house photos and quite a few photos of the property itself and its view of Mount Rainier there. Quite a pretty spot, as you can see. Now, in terms of the house information, you want to make sure that you write a really good description. I actually used all 750 characters that you're allowed, trying to hit on all my key points, which are that it's 106 acres, it has a 2016 built home, gated entry with paved roads, elk and deer, a lot of hunters would like that, good for equestrian and horse rider people. Got a fully fenced garden, excellent schools, strong community, 2 extra build-ready lots, which is something I'm moving up. I talked to my brother about this, and he suggested I move this up because I'm asking quite a bit of money, which I'm going to get into price strategy a little bit later. But asking $4 million for a house of this size is... and actually, they got the square footage here wrong, too. I'm going to have to contact Homecoin about that. I think on their website they have it correct, but in the Zillow must have picked it up incorrectly for some reason. Let's see here. Oh, it appears that Zillow includes your garage square footage and total house square footage. I did not know that. It must combine it down here. Let's see if this is accurate. So it says total structure area 4199. Let's see if they have the house area. So parking is 1032, attached garage 1032. Let's see if they have information on the house. Zillow may have screwed this up. My overall assessment of Homecoin is that it was more difficult to use than FSBO and more difficult than the experience I had with Congress Realty. However, I am dealing with a little bit more of a complex property this time, with 2 parcels being listed and combined, and they did get a number of things right, and their price was quite a bit lower. So those are good things. I'm not sure yet if I would go with them again. Please continue watching, and I'll probably post updates later in this series to see if they make it right and how it goes. So thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see information on my price strategy, why I chose the price, and what I'm going to do next with the price if it doesn't sell here.